Who am I? Why am I here? Why did I choose this life? How does this life fit within the last couple of past lives that we go through?
She's the sort of person that will have someone come to her who's been sexually abused as a child, and she'll say that you needed to learn courage. This is why that happened to you. Can you imagine how damaging that is to that person? Children with like brain cancer and people that are starving to death and been murdered, they chose this life to learn lessons, right? And then get their memory wiped so they forget their lessons. They're propagating that all this stuff is normal. All this pain, suffering, torture, difficult lives, trauma-induced is completely normal. And if you were abused as a child, then you chose this because your soul is advanced. And that's terrible, terrible misconceptions. And again, it makes people accept their lot. It makes people think, okay, well, I must be an advanced soul. There's really nothing inherently wrong with this planet. It's just that because I'm an advanced soul, I obviously chose a difficult life and chose to be mugged, raped, murdered, starved to death, or whatever the case may be. So none of it makes logical sense because it isn't logical. And it's just another case of them trying to make out that this trauma-induced reality is somehow normal when it's not. The New Agers will tell you, like when you say about all this trauma, they'll be like, yeah, but you chose this. Or the thing that they will say is, yeah, but you must have had karma to resolve. That's why you got mugged. That's why, you got cancer, because you had bad karma in another life. It's all your fault, guys, right? This is the New Age. It's all your fault. And yeah, it's this loving God that's behind everything wants you to suffer because apparently you made someone else suffer. This is how we learn our lessons, through pain and suffering and repeating these cycles. So,
hey everybody, I'm Vondi Lozano and welcome to Soul Guide. So good to have you here today. And I just wanted to...
Soul guide, you can't guide your own soul. You need to be guided, obviously. Guided to where? This is the question no one asks. Guides, where are they guiding you to?
Sometimes it can feel like a hard life is too much, but there are ways to make it a good life. And
yeah, the ways you make it a good life and it's not hard is you blame yourself for choosing. So nothing's wrong.
I want to dedicate this episode to my dear cousin Jim, who passed away this week. So, love you, Jim.
I wonder if Jim chose his life, chose to die.
And we come to Earth to learn lessons. So,
boom! There's the drop. We're here to learn. Earth is a school. Oh my days. Yeah. Earth is a school where you learn lessons in one lifetime and then they wipe your memory so you forget your lessons and then you're back down again. So when does it ever stop? When does this cycle of learning ever stop? Can you imagine that you die only to find out that you need to go to school? Like, that would be like my worst nightmare.
This is where we come to sort of fine-tune our skills and put into practice the things we're learning over there.
So the point there, we bring that learning back to the other side to enhance source. We have to go through all this pain, suffering and trauma just so that source or God can learn, even though it already created us. And presumably it created everything. It's aware of everything. It created trauma and suffering. But we have to go through that over and over and over and over again, that some deity, or what she calls source, can expand its knowledge. That sounds like putting your creations through trauma in my book, does it not? It sounds very back to front. It sounds very evil, actually. So I'm the creator, and to expand my learning, I'm going to make my creations get bombed, tortured, suffer starvation, poverty, just so I can expand my knowledge? That doesn't sound very loving to me. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Correct me if I'm missing something. Let me know in the comments if I'm missing something here, if something's not adding up.
So when we come to this life, we choose a specific life to advance our soul's development. When you go to the place of life, body, soul.
Now, there is many reports of pre-birth memories and life scripts, and I do agree that that is going on, but not for the reasons that she's talking about. She's talking about, obviously, that we're living these lives to expand the knowledge for source. I say that we are living these lives to feed the farm, to keep the flow of food going, the energy going, so these entities and these false light beings continue to feed, because without our energy, especially our fear, pain, suffering, low vibrational energy, these entities would starve to death. So that's the real reason that we're coming round, in my humble opinion. Well, not even opinion, I believe it to be fact, actually. There's enough evidence out there now that to establish that this is actually a fact. And what she is talking about is a load of old baloney for the New Agers and for the people that can't handle the truth about what this realm actually is. And the other thing about this, how many times do we have to suffer before Source learns about suffering and about how we react to suffering and about millions or billions of souls having the similar experiences? The overarching theme is fear, trauma, suffering, and all that stuff. How many times does Source need to experience this, or need us to experience it, before it learns more about itself? Again, doesn't add up.
So this is the graduate school program.
Oh yeah, the whole graduate program. Gangster planet, gangster school.
Who are the brave souls? And when there's a hard life, you're one of the bravest.
And how many times do we need to be brave? You know, we just got to recycle, be brave again and again and again, and be brave and be brave and be brave and be brave. No, I don't want to. I'm not down with that. If that's what God or Source is, I'm not down with it. And many people aren't down with it either. That is induced trauma. This hits hard. This information hits hard. I get it. I say in all my videos, I know what I'm saying hurts like hell. It's not nice. I just had my friend come over to see me, and we were talking about this. And you know, he also said, it doesn't make me feel good. And I'm not here to make people feel good, guys. I'm here to deliver the truth. And from there, we stand a chance to get out of this place. And don't get me wrong, and I've said this before, enjoy the good things about this realm while you're here. Enjoy friends, family, pets, loved ones, nature. That you can have, my phone's going crazy here, you can have a lot of good experiences, but as we know what the overarching theme is, and so you need to go through trauma to learn how to be loving and compassionate. In actual fact, some people go the opposite way. How many people abuse, or who were abused in one way or another, go on to be abusers? So they're not learning their lessons, are they? They're repeating the cycle. They're repeating the trauma and suffering, and they're projecting it onto other people. In fact, most people, in general, will project their pain and suffering onto others in one way or another, subconsciously or consciously. But even if people died in Germany the way that they're saying, are you telling me that people chose that experience so they could learn how to be brave? I mean, this makes me sick to the stomach, literally. And this woman will say that about the children over in the Middle East. that are being bombed by a country with I, starting with the letter I. And this woman will sit there and say that those children chose that experience. They chose to be bombed because they need to discover how to be brave. And yet, all this pain and suffering, if we go to the third paragraph here, is supposedly raising the vibration. What absolute horseshit. How these people can sit in front of a camera and tell hundreds and thousands of people that all this is okay and it's just a lesson and you're here to learn certain characteristics that are already inherently inside of us, to feed the ego of some source or deity, makes me sick to my stomach. And it's a middle finger to everyone that has been through war and suffering and bombs and all this stuff, because it's normal. She's trying to normalize the whole shit show. I mean, it's evil. What she's saying is actually evil. She even says there, children chose these experiences. Don't do anything about the experiences. Don't call them out for what they are. God forbid. Right? See, this is the other part of this. Can you see how this ties in? If they can get people to accept that the Earth is a school and normalise things like wars and bombs and things like that, because that's part of the lesson. You need to be bombed to learn your lesson, right? It's getting me angry now, right? Then what? You're not going to stand up and say, hey, Mr. Government Leader, you shouldn't be doing that. Or, hey, I'm not going to do this anymore, I'm resisting. Or, you take some action, or you start speaking your truth, which actually will stop a lot of this stuff from happening. No, they want you to accept it, to normalize it. And there's hundreds and thousands of New Agers, people that call themselves spiritual, that buy this baloney and want to tell you that suffering like this is normal. It's crazy. So these souls, they learn how to be brave, but maybe they didn't learn how to love properly. So they had an experience in World War II where they learned how to be brave, and then maybe they, in their next life, they get abused in some other way so they can learn how to love. And then what's the next lesson? And then the lesson after that. So this God can learn more about itself. Of course, you're not allowed to get mad, are you guys? You're not allowed to get angry about people that... I mean, her whole energy is literally soulless, like many of them. It's all love and light. Everything's okay. Unbelievable.
I've had people who are council members incarnating among us. But very often
Oh yeah, they love their council. They love their council members, these entities. These are often like cloaked entities. They wear cloaks because cloaks are signs of wisdom. And quite often when you review or when you look at these these past life reviews or NDEs, that if the person's being problematic in terms of they don't want to come back down, they'll send in the council and these cloaked beings to try another way to convince them to come back down. If you ever get to the stage where you're meeting a council, you've probably taken a wrong turn somewhere, I would suggest. I'm not saying for sure, maybe there's some good council members somewhere in creation, but certainly within this matrix, I wouldn't trust any council members. I mean, I don't even trust my local council, let alone any other council. Like I belong here. I never have, since day one. And I think that at some point we were probably brought here against our will or tricked here. And this is why it all feels so alien to us. I mean, even little things as well, even physically, like if we were really made for this earth, like I get sunburnt in like 5 minutes. If I go out without I don't use conventional sun cream because it's full of chemicals that actually do give you skin cancer. But if I don't use my alternative stuff, I get burnt within like 5 minutes. So when I think about it, am I really native to this planet? Like, is that how nature would work? Like, if I was truly part of this realm, like surely I'd be able to. Like other animals, they don't really get sunburnt, do they? So I don't know, that's maybe for another video, but anyway.
They don't always fit in. They don't quite know what's off. But they come here, and sometimes with a little bit of resistance.
Oh, what a shock, hey? Sometimes with a little bit of resistance. Notice how she said that, tongue in cheek. Sometimes with a lot of resistance. A lot. And if you research some of these NDEs, there's absolute resistance. They do not want to come back here at all. But they're tricked, they're hoodwinked, they're told that they need to be there for their daughter, their son, their husband, or they've got some kind of mission, right? And they end up getting tricked back down here. But to say that there's some resistance is a massive understatement. And when I do sessions with people, some regression sessions with people, sometimes we've gone back to the womb or the birth canal where the baby or the embryo really absolutely 100% doesn't even want to be born here because it knows that the suffering that's going to happen. Again, hard truth to swallow, but through knowledge we can free ourselves. You know, it's a punch in the gut. It really is. This information is a punch in the gut. I'm not trying to mask it up as anything it's not. It's not going to make you feel fluffy inside. It's not going to be rainbows, unicorns, angels, and all that jazz. But you know what that stuff's going to do? It's going to make sure that you're recycled back here. And I'm pretty confident that this information is going to ensure that you're not. So there is gold in it, guys. If you stick with it, if you get out of your feelings, if you're watching this for the first time, get out of your feelings, get into discernment. Like, is what I'm saying true? Does it feel good? No. And I try and make jokes and make light of it. I do try my hardest, guys, honestly. You guys know that. And you have to laugh at it. But what's important is what's true. Because that's going to give you the keys to get out. I would say everyone's purpose. I mean, I can't speak for everyone because you can have more than one purpose. But it has to be to learn the truth. Everyone's main purpose in this lifetime, especially right now, where we're at this crossroads, is to learn the truth and to learn what you need to do to get out, to heal yourselves and to enjoy this lifetime as much as you can while you're here. It hasn't all got to be doom and gloom. And as one subscriber said, learn how to die properly. I know that sounds morbid. It is what it is. But if you could learn about all these deceptions at the time of passing, you're very likely not going to get tricked back around here again.
When you go before the wise souls, that's the biggest question.
The wise souls. There's always someone better than you guys. Do you notice that? You're inadequate. You as a soul are inadequate. You as a soul, you need to learn lessons. You as a soul, you need to suffer trauma to learn lessons. And then you as a soul will get told by other people that know better than you what is best for your next lifetime or your next move. No. We stop that now. We stop that now. No more. This time, this lifetime, while we're alive, and next lifetime. And I've said before, you can get help from people. There's people that can put out information that can help you and do work with you. But it's discernment, guys. That's what we need to relearn how to do. And learning that we have the ultimate decision. There is no authority over you. There is no one that can make decisions for you. And people want to give that away. They want others to make this. This is why we're in such a mess. Because people want others to make decisions for them. The next politician, the next guru. It's about self-sovereignty, leading yourself, being your own leader, discernment.
They took themselves out. They didn't stay through the whole life. And when they crossed over, they were told that they left too soon.
Oh yeah, of course. So where does that lead? Oh, you left too soon, so you got to come back again. Unfortunately, and this is what I mean. You know, that person, even though I don't recommend, doing yourself in, is still they still would have had, I would imagine, the opportunity to transition themselves out with knowledge like this, like I'm sharing, not what she's sharing. But no, because that person didn't bother to do any research in their physical life, an entity showed up, said, look, unfortunately, you've just topped yourself. It's way too early. You're back down, mate. You're back down on the farm. Oh, okay then. Oh, shit. But I don't want to go back. Ah, yeah, but you need to. You got karma now, young man. You got bad karma for doing what you did, and you go to hell otherwise. That's your other option. Oh, okay, then. Oh shit, I better go down then.
So hang in there. You chose this life for a reason. A lot of planning goes into this life, and they were told there was more good to come, but they kind of
Yeah, it's always to come, isn't it? How many thousands of lifetimes does the happiness, joy, and all that jazz turn up?
Left in the middle of the story. So it wasn't like they were berated or ridiculed or criticized, but they were just told.
No, because if they were, then they're not going to. They need to schmoozy up to people, don't they? They're not going to. They're not going to get their agreement to come back down by lambasting them, are they? Oh, why did you kill yourself? Yada yada yada. No, they need to like wolves in sheep clothing. That's what they are. They need to pander up to you, tell you a few things that you want to hear. You were a good person, and you did this was really good, and if you just stayed a little bit longer, then you wouldn't have to resolve your karma. Unfortunately, now. Yeah, they don't work like that. They're manipulative. They're deceptive. They're subtle in the way they operate, and they're very conniving, deceiving, and they're very clever. These entities, I have to give them credit for that. They're very smart in what they do and how they do it. It's a very well polished machine that they've got going. This matrix, and they don't do it by lambasting people and making them. Shouting at them and all that stuff. They do it on the sly.
Appreciate the trees, but in one of the past life sessions, or excuse me, life between life.
Yeah, and we've got to throw in the whole new age gooey woo woo BS. Appreciate the trees. Yeah. Tell that to someone that's been sexually abused. Look after yourself. Appreciate the trees. Don't get me wrong. I love trees, but really, she's basically saying, look, it's all good here. Don't worry about a thing. It's just lessons. It's a school. Everything's cool. Hug a tree. You'll be fine. I'm saying, look, we've probably been trapped here for a while. It's not really that great. But with knowledge we can get out. Enjoy yourself while you're here. Hopefully it's your last life.
I see some comments popping up. I love trees. So do I.
You can just imagine, can't you, all these new agers sucking this up. Oh, I chose a very hard life, and I'm so happy that now I know why I'm here. Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm going to hug a tree. Rainbow Bridge, Ascension, New Earth. I'm just going to keep my vibration high. Everything's fine here. But no, we have fleeting moments of joy, and everything else is pain and suffering to learn lessons. None of this makes sense because it isn't. It's not true.
I just wanted to give a little bit of encouragement to those of you who are here.
No, you've just misled a whole bunch of people. 10,000 people viewed this video. You've just misled all of them. So thanks for nothing, Mandy. Oh, Vondi. This is just one massive spiritual bypass. It's just, instead of like looking at things for what they are, it's like, oh my God, this is so much pain. Okay, I'm just going to think that I chose this. Right? The mental schism that you would have to go through to reach a conclusion that a disabled person chose their disability is huge. And this is what these people do. They want to spiritually bypass everything. This is why I get a lot of abuse from New Agers, because they just want to continue to spiritually bypass. And as I always say, yeah, you're going to feel great in the moment, but you are going to suffer in the long term. So you might as well take that bitter pill now and swallow it, because there's going to be other bitter pills to swallow if you don't.
We continue to come back usually until we become advanced enough that we no longer...
And who decides? Who freaking decides whether or not I'm advanced enough, right? Or whether you're advanced enough? Who makes that decision? Who gives them authority to make that decision that you are advanced? You are not advanced enough, so you need to go back down. Enough of this. No one has that authority. If you want to come back down, if you're crazy enough to want to come back down to Earth, you make that decision. You decide to incarnate back. No one makes those decisions for you. And no one can tell you what to do in this lifetime either. Especially not some pedo in a suit. It just annoys me as well, the way they talk. Like, it's also airy-fairy. Everything's love. Everything feels good. I can see why so many people fall for it. Because she's whispering sweet nothings in your ear. Guys, the devil is in the detail. It's not in what's papering over the cracks.
Rough time. But thank you. I see that we do have people watching. So I just want to give you lots of love and lots of encouragement, and know that you are the brave souls. You chose this to develop qualities in yourself as a soul, and then also to bring those learnings, those lessons back to the other side. So you really choose these for all of us. And sometimes people choose a really difficult lesson that's like,
I don't want that responsibility. Do you? I don't want the responsibility of having a hard life for everyone else's growth or for Source's growth.
like a community lesson. Like we're all learning something together. So we thank you for that.
Guys, I got a bit animated in that one because, to be quite frank, she annoyed the hell out of me. I mean, what is there left to say? I basically said it all there. You know, Earth's a school. It's not. It's just, it's a farm, guys. And they want to convince you that the farm is somehow beneficial for either you, your soul's growth, or the greater good, or even Source. So they're pulling out all the stops now because now they're getting to people to believe that, oh, I need to go through this because Source needs to increase its awareness and intelligence. It's baloney, guys, as most of you on this channel will know by now. So guys, look out for my channel back up on Friday, fingers crossed, my original channel. This channel's still going to be here, but as I say, don't forget my BitChute, Odyssey, this backup channel's still going to be there, and Telegram. All the links are in the description below. And if you want to work with me, check out my course. My website is transcendingtimes.org. Guys, I will see you on the next video. Have a lovely week.